In past, we have learned about certain mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Now, these need to be applied in real life. Now, one of the such applications in real life is what we are going to discuss here is interest. Now, to discuss interest, let's take the example of banking. So, what happens in bank is that there is a depositor who deposits the money to the bank. What bank does with this money is that it lends to a businessman. Now, businessman, what he does is that he invests this money in his business and generates what it's called as profit. This profit businessman shares with bank because money was funded by the bank, and bank further gives part of that profit to you or depositor. Now, if assuming that you invested or you deposited rupees 100 to bank, and bank say after 1 year gives you rupees 120. Now this 20 rupees which you have got additionally after 1 year is the profit or part of profit which businessman generated and gave it to bank, and bank further gave it to you. And this we call it as interest. Pardon me for my writing. Now, how do we calculate this interest? Now, what the money which we deposit to the bank is called principal. Now, when you solve the questions, you may find the word sum. What happens is that there is a pre-agreed terms on the basis of which you are going to deposit the money. One of the terms which on the basis of which you deposit the money is called rate of interest. Rate of interest is nothing but the percentage of sum deposited that bank will pay the depositor after the agreed time, after the pre-agreed time. Now, generally, we the what how we denote these things as principal is denoted as capital P. Rate of interest is small r, and time period is T. Now, the formula to calculate interest is principal into rate of interest into T. Now, since rate of interest is in percentage, so what we do is that we divide it by 100. Now, this is how we calculate the interest. Now, the interesting part of the interest here is that there are two types of interests which are there. What we are discussing above is called as simple interest. Now, simple interest is not called a simple interest just because it's simple to calculate, but we will come back and see the why the simple interest is called a simple interest. Normally, in banking, the example which you have taken, this is not the way the interests are calculated. Now, before we move to the other form of interest, let us take few examples. Suppose there's a gentleman by the name Ram. He deposits rupees 1000 to bank, and the rate of interest which is agreed is say 5%, and the time period for which money is deposited is say rupee say sorry is 2 years. Now, what is the interest that he will get? Our principal, let's change the color. Uh, our principal is 1000. Our rate of interest is 5%, and our time period is 2 years. And we divide all this by 100. So it is going to be 5 to the 10, and 10 into 1000 is 10,000 divided by 100, and we knock off 20 with 20, and the result is rupees 100. So at the end of 2 years, what Ram is going to get is the income or the interest of rupees 100. Now, what money he is going to get back after 2 years would be, let's change the color here from here. Now, what we call it as amount is equal to the principal, which was P, plus interest which he has got. The principal was rupees 1000, and interest which he has got is rupees 100. So total amount which he gets after 2 years is 1100. So this is how we calculate the interest or simple interest.